Hello, welcome to the Ritchie Roundup. I am America's coolest conservative, the green-eyed patriot, TJ the realist Ritchie. Now, we are going to be dealing with tonight on the show the Carmelo Anthony case. The verdict was handed down today. Carmelo Anthony in the state of Texas found guilty of first-degree murder of Austin Metcalf. Quick rundown of the story, just in case somebody doesn't know. Last year, there was a track meet at a high school in Texas. Carmelo Anthony was under the tent of one of the track meet teams that he wasn't supposed to be under. Austin Metcalf was on that team. He went over and said, "Hey, you can't be under this tent. This is our tent. This is for our team. This is for our school. You can't be under here." Carmelo Anthony said, "You're not going to make me leave." And words were exchanged. He said, "You better not touch me and find out what happens." Austin Metcalf goes over, pushes him. And when he does, Carmelo Anthony reaches into his backpack, pulls out a knife, according to all of the witnesses, and in one fell swoop, plunges it into Austin Metcalf's chest, leaving a 2-inch hole in his heart as he bled out there at the track meet. Carmelo Anthony took off running, threw the knife, tried to get rid of the knife, and started trying to say it was self-defense. He was afraid for his life, and that's what his whole case was built upon. There were witnesses, like I said, like 11 witnesses that all had the same story, that it was not ever a threat to Carmelo Anthony. He was the aggressor. He was the instigator. He was the one who brought a knife into the track meet where he wasn't even supposed to have a weapon of any kind. He started the trouble and he killed Austin Metcalf. Even the defense's main witness ended up helping the prosecution in cross-examination because the case was so open and shut that it was not a case of self-defense. That Carmelo Anthony acted outside the law, killed Austin Metcalf. Now, here's what happens. If there is a situation where a black person gets killed at the hands of a white person, then there are racial uprisings. If a white person gets killed at the hands of a black person, there are racial uprisings. And because Carmelo Anthony is black, Austin Metcalf was white, everything should just be done. Austin Metcalf should not have even questioned Carmelo Anthony about being in a tent that he wasn't supposed to be in. He should not have even had the audacity to confront him and say, "Hey, this is our tent. You're not supposed to be in." Because Carmelo Anthony is black and Austin Metcalf is white, Carmelo Anthony should have just been left to do whatever he wanted to do. And if he was to be questioned or if he was to try to be removed, then he was well within his right to kill Austin Metcalf, strictly because he's black and Austin Metcalf is white. That's according to all of these protesters, all of these people who are out, like this one big, fat, nasty guy who can barely walk, running around in a dirty-ass dashiki yelling, "The only good cracker is a dead cracker. Only good cracker is a dead cracker." Making a fool of himself. Like I said, he could barely walk, and he's running around there trying to act like he's a tough guy. Now, everybody now is blaming the fact that the jury was only white people. But there were potential jurors who were black who admitted that they could not be unbiased in the situation. One of them even said, "I can't see myself trying to send a brother to jail." So the prosecution kicked him. So, hey, that we can't have. So that's the situation as to why there were no black people on the jury. It was a quick deliberation. It was an open shut case, but not to the race hustlers of the world. Like this guy, this clown named Dominique Alexander. Now, Dominique Alexander was one that came out with the family and the parents and did a press conference right after Carmelo Anthony murdered Austin Metcalf. Austin Metcalf's dad came to the press conference. Dominique Alexander said he needed to leave. It was disrespectful. It was disrespectful for him to be there because this family has been through enough. Meanwhile, this guy's son was killed in cold blood. He was at a track meet. He was a senior in high school, his whole life ahead of him. And because Carmelo Anthony decided he was going to play tough guy, his son lost his life. And then this guy, this race hustler, this wannabe Al Sharpton, wannabe Jesse Jackson, wannabe Ben Crump, comes out and says, is disrespectful for, and then that guy also has a rap sheet, they say is a mile long. So be that as it may. Now this is him afterwards. Listen to this.
Rap House TV.
It showed very clearly that a black boy was allowed, not one black soul on a jury. An all white jury convicted him in 2 to 3 hours. We know that they did not prove their case. They are currently sentencing Carmelo Anthony, but we know that the Next Generation Action Network put the first $10,000 towards an appellate attorney.
All right, that's the name of his organization, the Next Generation Action Network. He can't even come up with a creative title of his network. He has to bite off of the National Action Network. Telling you what kind of a low-brow race hustler this is.
We will fight Collin County like hell. I respected this process.
No, you didn't.
I allowed and called for peace in this process.
You allowed? Who the hell are you? You allowed and called for? Who are you? Nobody knows who the hell you are to be listening to you one way or the other. You're a nobody. You're a no damn body is who you are. Idiot.
But Black America should be very upset about what went on today. Now, before all of the internet lawyers and before all of the interpretation of the situation, I'm only an advocacy leader. I'm not an attorney.
No.
I can only help families be able to navigate these processes when they find themselves
and what do you get out of it? Can you tell us that? Can you tell us what you get out of it? Brother Dominique, what's in it for you? Huh? What's in it for you, Brother Dominique? You're not an attorney. Yeah. Okay. What you getting out of it? What are your aspirations? You want to be the next Ben Crump. You say, hey, Ben Crump can't speak clearly either. So I got a shot. And he's famous. Ben Crump's getting paid. And he can't speak clearly. I can't speak clearly. So I'm about to get paid. Is that what it is, Brother Dominique? Is that what you got going?
These processes when they find themselves in this type of situation. I can only allow lawyers to be what they are, lawyers. I can't instruct them. I can't stop them from doing anything. I have to respect the process just like anybody else. But what we saw today was flawed, unjust, and I ask that the community continue to pray for the Anthony family. I do not speak for them, but I know that the Next Generation Action Network will be here as support. My heart hurts.
Notice he keeps saying it. The Next Generation Action Network. He keeps promoting it. Make sure you got the title. Make sure you got the name of it. That's my group. I'm surprised he's not giving out a website. Follow us on social media. Follow me on Instagram, Next Generation Action Network.
It's right now because an ignorance of the law was done here today.
What?
Clear. We posted the jury instructions. And right now, what we are seeing is a travesty. It lets us that black lives do not matter in the criminal justice system. It lets us know that we are not going to be afforded the same laws as anybody else. And I give a damn about nobody that feels like I'm playing the race card here. For 400 years, our people have been at the liberty and have had to suffer at the liberty of these laws. I'm speaking facts because that blood of slavery is in my blood, not your blood. And it's not for you to look at me and say, I'm playing the race card. I'm just a black man living in America. Oh. The fact supports that.
Oh, yeah.
You say I'm upset? Hell yeah, I'm upset.
Oh, no. No.
I respected this process.
Oh, thank
you.
you.
But we're going to fight like hell to make sure that Collin County know that Carmelo Anthony is not going to go away.
Oh, no.
I want to thank all of the people who traveled across this country, to all of the medias, community supporters, and people.
All the media
who have taken Carmelo Anthony as their own baby.
Like it's his own baby.
I salute you. I thank you.
His own baby.
And we got work to do.
Got work to do.
Thank you and God bless.
Stand by. The few people that are so pathetic that they would listen to me, stand by until I give you instructions on when to start tearing up stuff. Now, I don't know whether things are going to change now that there's a verdict and the verdict has come back the way it has. But up until this point, there's a reason why this Timu Al Sharpton is out there being the one speaking for the family. This outlet version, this factory outlet version of Jesse Jackson, this factory outlet version of Ben Crump is the one out there speaking for the family. Because normally, in a case like this, if there's even a hint that Al Sharpton can get some traction out of it and he can cause an uprising, especially when we got midterm elections right around the corner, he'd be out there doing it. But as of yet, he hasn't been out there involved in this. So wouldn't that normally tell you that there's no case here, that the case was too obvious, that there's not even any wiggle room anywhere? You can't call racism on this case because it's so obvious. Now I say that right now at 9:18 Eastern, and Al Sharpton may be, his big head may be loading up right now to head to Texas. I don't know. But as of yet, it hasn't been, it hasn't been a thing. But this is so dangerous. And this is why so many people are at odds with each other, because you have people like this, you have people like these other quote unquote civil rights leaders that don't want harmony in the country. Because like this clown has been looking for, I guarantee you, he's been sitting around Texas for a while, looking for a situation where he can insert himself to become one of these, what they call civil rights leaders, advocates, civil rights advocates. So he can make a lot of money off of it. And this was his case. Because like I said, he's got, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, he's got a pretty extensive criminal history himself. So a serious person who actually knows the law and knows what's going on in the real world would not stand out there right then at that press conference and start talking about, I have slave blood running through me. This is slavery. We've been dealing with this since slavery. That's a propagandist. That's a propagandist. Because nothing about this case had anything to do with slavery or segregation or Jim Crow or any of those other Democrat things. You know, all those are Democrat issues. All those are Democrat projects, like Jim Crow and segregation and slavery and all, a bunch of Democrats. Now, I really wish that if something starts cracking off in violence or protest, you know, riots, things like that, I really hope that the state of Texas finds the people who incited it. If somebody's going to incite that stuff, they should be held accountable and they should be in jail right there with Carmelo Anthony. I mean, just bring the hammer down. Okay, you want to play around? You want to get out here and start messing with people's lives? You want to start a riot? You want to ruin, you know, people's property, and you want to cause some sort of big racial uprising just to line your pockets, just so you can manipulate these people and get them all riled up and line your pockets? No, you're gonna have to deal with the law yourself, and that put a stop to some of this crap. But what's sad is that the people, you know, that are standing around there that have been duped by all of this. That's right. Black lives don't matter. And they're not propagandists like this guy. They actually believe it because of people like him. Imagine how sad and pathetic your life has to be, or how weak your mind has to be to follow what this guy's saying. I mean, I get it if it's somebody who's charismatic and you know, comes off as intelligent and all, like Jesse Jackson did. But this guy, you gonna follow him? This guy is an idiot. So how pathetic does your life have to be? How weak does your mind have to be if you're following his teaching? He's leading you. It's crazy. Absolutely nuts. All right, so I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot about this for the rest of the week. It is not going to be dying down, especially when they announce the sentencing, which I guess will be tomorrow. So we'll keep a sharp eye on that. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I got to go to bed because I get up really early and I'm old. So good night.